Oh, man, some of it, man. What's going on with you? Yeah. Hey, you know what? This crazy because
Right. See, you just jumped off of there. Though. Okay, you came back.
look, it's keep buffering, so I don't know how long this go last, man. But you know what? We
What's
live,
up?
so man, introduce yourself before I do. Who am I talking to, man? For
You
the
talking to? My
look,
name
we
is
live.
Ricky
Who am I
Brickens.
talking to?
Ricky Brickens, aka Slick P. I'm from Madison, Terrace, Paru. Where I was, I really, I don't really trip on that no more, man, because I'm on my grown man. But yeah, I've been knowing Sheep Terrell. I've been knowing Terrell a long time. I've been knowing him since Elco. That's where I met him at. Like I say, we didn't really have no differences. We always been cool. I got mad love for that brother. You know what I'm saying? And I just like to go on here, man, and and just like he say, speak actual factuals on what I know. I don't know much of everything, but I know a little bit of something.
Can
Yeah,
you
Mr.
okay? Tell them where you from, man. Tell them
Like
where
I
you
said,
from, so the audience
I'm
know
from
who they
Madison
talking to.
Terrace, man. I moved to Madison Terrace in 1979. You know, 816 West Monroe, apartment number one. Uh, like I said, I'm from over there, man. I would consider myself one of the originals myself, even though I was a little kid, but I was already off the porch lightweight. When I was young, they used to come get me and take me out with them, go do that when they was the Bang Bang Gang, and go get on bikes and have my little butt on their handlebars, and I'd be on, with them. Yeah, I used to run down, be on Jackson and all that, man. I just, like I said, I'm from over there, man. I'm from over there,
Okay,
man, and
when you say you
what do you
from
want
over there, where is
to?
over there at? I mean, for
Madison
everybody that
Terrace.
don't
I
know who
said
you are, what
Madison
what
Terrace.
what,
I'm from
what
Madison
resides
Terrace.
in Madison Terrace?
H and Monroe. H and Monroe.
Okay, and then
H and Monroe.
Parus, right?
Yes, yes,
That's
sir.
okay. Let
Parus.
me okay now
MTPs.
now now. Okay, let me ask you a question, and maybe you can answer this
Okay.
because a lot of people are under the influence, not under that's under the influence, are under the impression that someone from California came to Las Vegas and started Paru. Now, for the audience, is that true?
Well, to a certain extent, I would say no. I would only reason the name came from there. I would say the name came from there, but they was already a gang before they even became. The name Paru came along. Like if anybody know about it, they was already the Bang Bang Gang. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They was down there in the Cadillac Arms, and they migrated up and through to Madison Terrace, Evergreen, and Madison Terrace. When those guys
Okay.
moved over there. So, but Mickey Simmons that came from California, uh,
What part of California did Mickey Simmons come from?
San Diego. He came from
San
San
Diego.
Diego. Yeah, and they was
Um.
Lincoln Park Bloods. But like we say, they was that park over there right across the street from Madison Terrace was Lincoln Park. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't
Oh.
know that before it was Fitzgerald's Park. You know what
Oh.
I'm
Okay.
saying? And him and June Matthews was running together, and I guess they went back to California or whatever. And when they came back, they was like, "We Pirus," and they had nothing to do with really nobody from out there that basically influenced them. This is what we, to turn them out like that. They was already a gang. It was already like five of them that was already original Pirus. I think it was like Mickey, June Matthews, Kiki, Jerry Simmons, and somebody else. It was like the original Pirus right there, and then the rest of them end up, and then everybody else around there came along with it. For the most part, we ain't never been no GQs, but it's some that were GQs. Almost everybody in Vegas was GQs at one time. You know what I'm saying? So damn
Okay.
near everybody. You know what I'm saying? A lot. I
Okay.
mean, not everybody, but they had the influence some of everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But Madison Terrace ain't never been. There's some niggas that was over there that used to run with them and probably claim GQ at one time when they was like say it was almost like a fad to claim GQ like nowadays it seems like it's a fad for a lot of people to be Gerses. You know what I'm saying? You know, but yeah, that's basically a little bit about our history. I can tell you so much of what I know, but there's other people, my homeboys. I get it from my homeboys. You know what I'm saying? From my OGs. You know, because I was
Okay.
young when it started. Because we've been around since the early '80s. You know, we ain't
Okay.
no late '80s gang. We've been around since the '80, '81. You know, we've been
Okay.
around that long too. You know, so we like one of the first gangs, like you said. You had the Playboys over there. Um, and from my understanding, like I said, that when they was West Coast Crips, it was the homie Big Red and went over there and influenced them to turn into Bloods. You know, and told them they weren't having that. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
ended up,
So let's get this straight. So you saying that one of the Parus went over there to Marble Manor, which is was West Coast Crips, and that person was influential in turning the West Coast Crips into West Coast
yeah,
Bloods.
yeah. That was
So
out of
it
his
was
mouth to me. You know, they went down there.
okay.
Him and a couple homeboys went over there with them. But there was a couple of those guys that was over there, like Big Bo, that lived over there.
Right.
That was claiming Paru
Yeah, Big
already.
Bo, Half Dead,
Yeah, they was
Snake
already
Dots.
claiming. Yeah, they
Yeah,
was already
they was
claiming
already
Paru.
rules.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
was already claiming. You know.
So the Parus were influential in the West Coast Bloods turning
Yes.
Paru. So let me ask you
Yes.
this here, man. Let me ask you this here, man. So is it safe to say that when it comes to the Parus in Las Vegas, that although um, California didn't have direct influence on the formation of it, but we can both agree that with Mickey Simmons being from Lincoln Park in San Diego, and Lincoln Park wearing red and green, and the park across the street from Madison Terrace, which is now Fitzgerald Park, it was called Lincoln Park back then,
Yeah.
and that's what drew Mickey Simmons to the area.
Right.
Now,
Hmm.
is it safe to say, because in all fairness, he is from San Diego? So is
Right.
it safe to say that with that being the case, that there is some form of, let's just say, Cali influence there, because he is from Cali, even though it wasn't something that was forced upon those first like five guys, that they all agreed, this is what we're gonna be. But we can both, agree to some extent California did have some form of influence on power rules with Mickey Simmons being from Lincoln Park. Would you say that's fair?
Ah.
It's
I
up to you.
can't
It's either
say that
this y'all
definitely.
story, yeah, or nay.
I can't. Right. Right. I can't say that definitely because, like I said, they was already doing their own thing. I would say the name came from that, but they was already the Bang Bang Gang. They was
They
already
was
doing
all
their own thing. They was
okay.
already
Well,
who they was. I would say maybe the name was influenced from there. I would say that. You know what I'm saying? Because they was already running. They was already who they were.
so can you still
You know?
can you see me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, so is the Bang Bang Gang, were they Crips or Bloods, or
They was just
what
the
was their
Bang
affiliation?
Bang Gang, basically. They was just basically the
Okay.
Bang Bang Gang.
Okay, let
Hmm.
me ask you this here
But they
because a
didn't
lot
fuck
of
with.
people
But they
want to
didn't.
know
You know,
this.
they didn't. But they didn't. You know, like I say, they wasn't influenced. They was never Crips. They was never
Okay.
Crips. So
Okay,
that's one thing for
understood.
sure. They never was Crips.
Okay.
You know.
So a lot of people want to know this. When it comes to the number 357, who had that number first? The PBs or the Parus?
I would say kind of. It was kind of like a joint effort, if I could say. I can't totally quote that, but I've been, was told it was like a joint effort between both of them. They had a meeting behind it, and I
I
can't
had a
say
meeting
word
behind
for word or what it was about or how that number exactly came all the way about. But I sure definitely can find out for sure.
it.
And we
Okay.
can definitely, like I said, we can, and in the future we can get Big on here. We can even definitely even get June Quando, the one who really started all of it on here too. You know what I'm saying? And they can give you better um, information when it comes to that, because that's like I say,
Okay. Okay. Well,
I'm
let
under
me.
them.
Right. Well, so what you first generation Paru, second generation Paru?
I would consider myself the first generation because I was over there when it started. I'm not as
Okay.
old as those other guys because they may, they're I would say they're from 7 to 12 years older than me.
Right.
I'm
Okay.
52, so some of them
So-
are 60 or close to push to 60 or 61 years old. So they're few old, they're like I say they 8 to 12 years older than me, something like that.
right. Right. Okay. Let me ask you this here. since you from over there and you know more about that place than I do, if you was
Yeah.
to if you had to put your back with five guys over there, they call them hand guys on the internet. Now everybody is so obsessed with the hand guy episode on who can do these, you know what I'm saying? So I need five hand guys, you know what I'm saying, from Madison Terrace that can get down that you will be back to back with. Five hand guys.
Well, it's a
Give me
few.
five
It's
of them.
quite a few, man. I'm not bragging on my neighborhood. It's quite a few. Number one is June Matthews, Quando. Number one is Quando.
Yeah,
I would
Quando can
have
get
no
down.
problem because he knocked out anything out. Rest in peace, Kabubi.
Kabubi, my
Uh,
cousin, yeah,
yeah,
Kabubi.
yeah. Rest in
Yeah.
peace, Kabubi. Would have been him. Slow Pony.
Slow pony. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
Slow
yeah,
Pony.
yeah, yeah.
Um, Jeez, I mean the list could go on. Melly Mel.
Oh yeah.
I can. It's gonna be more. I can keep
Rest,
going.
rest his soul.
Stanley
Yeah.
Mack. Yeah, Melly Mel.
Stanley
Stanley Mack.
Mack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He. I mean, it's a few of them, man. I can't
Right, right.
name and go down and. I mean, it's Webbo.
Well, Bo, man.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
Webbo. I mean, that's more than five, but I mean, I can't. I could go down my one of my best friends, Terrell, easy, so it's a
Yeah.
few of them. It's some boys over there can fight, man. But they made us fight,
Okay.
man. Like I said, them niggas made us fight. It wasn't no coming over there with that
Okay.
bullshit, nigga. When you moved over there, you gotta fight. They made us fight. We couldn't play football without them making us fight. It was just a whole lot of that going on over there, man. We had to fight. We had to fight over there.
Okay. Hey, let me ask you a serious question, man.
Yes, sir.
What made you want to be a Paru? What made you, growing up and seeing what was going on in your area, what made you want to become a part of something like that, that led
Well,
you to Elko and other places?
um, Well, like I said, I've been over there. I moved over there when I was 7, 8 years old, 7 years old. So maybe even younger than that. About that, I was 7 years old when I moved over there. And I mean that's all we seen. Mom stayed at work and mom be working and was doing her thing, and so that's all I seen, man. And that comes from not having a male figure, not having a male figure in my home. Mom did the best she could. I'm not knocking anything that she did. I love that woman to death. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But that was seeing that, looking out my window every day, seeing them whooping on stuff and just doing stuff like that. I was attracted to it, and a lot of
Right.
that comes from, and I was attracted to it, and that's what I wanted to do. you know
Okay.
I don't regret
Okay.
none of it. I don't regret none of that stuff I did without, in the name of it. I don't regret it. I won't take it back. I can't take it back. Like my mom always
Right.
tell me, you can't unring that bell. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Once that bell is
Right.
rung, that's it, bro. You know what I'm saying? But and I don't regret it, but I sure, won't push anybody to get into any of that, man, because at the end of the day, that lifestyle ain't worth it all. I wasted a lot of time in and out of institutions. But it made me who I am today. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I've learned some things
Okay.
about loyalty. Um, a lot of these youngsters scream loyalty, and to me, that's the wrong thing to be worried about. You need to learn, try to respect yourself and others first, and loyalty come because there's no, your loyalty can change at any time, man. But
Yeah.
respect is a totally different thing. So, I go with respect first, man. I'm gonna respect you for who you are. Respect me for me. You ain't gotta respect me. You know what I'm saying? But because I respect myself first. But that's just how I look at that, man. But that was just something that I got into. I was willing to die for it and kill for it. So, at that time,
Oh,
but I
okay.
also, in the process of that, though, I also forged some friendships with people from the other side. You, for instance, me and you always kept it cool. I never had no beef, no problems with you. Uh, what they call them, blue balls, Shamarlo, that's my dude, man. Me and him get along pretty good. From the other side, me and Ty Hain got along.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just seen him, man. Like I said, he had, like, I'm gonna put it out there. He said he respects what you're doing. He appreciates that, and he said that, and he did mention that God, he mentioned God has his favor on us, man. We still here, she. There's some of us that ain't. There's a lot of us that ain't make it, man. There's a lot of us ain't make it. But I just want for the world into that life. There's a better way. a better way. And us as men, we need to get out there and try to influence these youngsters. And us as men need to be more father figures too. Even to those who ain't that don't have a father, we should, try to step out there to somebody and help them kids out, man. You know, and try to
Right,
give them something else to look
right.
forward to, because I believe that was part of the problem. And there's not a lot of resources. There's not, we're not getting a lot of resources out there for them kids. There's not a lot that much for them to do. Even though we had
Okay.
some kind of like resources, because we had boys clubs and those little stuff going on in our neighborhoods, man. But we chose to go that route. And the end result,
All right.
man.
Well,
Uh huh.
me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you a question. To a kid that's thinking about joining a gang, what would be your words to dissuade that youngster? What could you tell that youngster, through experience and what you've been through, as to why he or she shouldn't get involved in gangs, and what words would you offer as a deterrent to the youth up out there?
That's kind of first thing. It ain't worth it. Number one, it ain't worth it. There's other things that you can do in life that's better. You can have just as much fun as you think that lifestyle is fun. It was all right when I was into it, but uh, at the end of the day, it's not worth the consequences that you have to deal with. Do you love your mother? Do you love your freedom? Do you want to continue to have your freedom? Do you want to live a regular life? I mean, whatever life you choose to live, that's what you choose to live, man. But dealing with that kind of lifestyle is going to be incarcerations. You're not only hurting yourself, you're hurting your parents, man, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your grandmother. They hurt just as much or even more. But behind the people that the lives that you destroy. You don't only destroy your own life when you out there in the streets, you're destroying other people's life. You know, our mamas got to sit there and watch us in these institutions, man. You know what I'm saying? Got to watch us suffer. Just they suffer too, even though they go on and live their life. But man, them women suffer. Those women still suffer. Those mothers suffer, man. You know what I'm saying? If we love our mothers and we love them, that we wasn't thinking. I had a knucklehead and a hard ass head. I've done a lot of unnecessary shit, but at the end of the day, man, it's not worth it, man. There's a whole lot more you can do in life than continue to, hurt other people, man, and damage other people's lives. It's not about all
Well,
that, man.
it's a lot of people that say that Vegas, it's not even about that life. It's a lot of people that think Vegas is just a bunch of strip clubs and the strip and somewhere people just come to play. They
Well,
say,
she,
listen, no, for real,
me, well, she, me and you
people
know
listen. I
both
swear to
know
God,
that.
look, people really,
Well,
it's a
she,
lot of
me and
people.
you,
No, no, no.
me and you both know. Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
A lot of people, I answer questions in my comments, and a lot of
Hmm.
them, I don't let them provoke me because I really was in that life. We was, behind, and well, it was really serious, and we had to defend our backyard. That's why I'm sitting here with a permanent blink because that's how serious
Right,
it got. You know what I mean? But my
right.
thing is this here. What do you say to them people that say, number one, Vegas is a joke? It's not really about that. That life. Number two, that anything about Vegas was actually created and influenced by California. Now, when you talked about the Parus and the influence California had on that, but what do you think about the influence of Vegas as a whole and the influence Cali have on it? Do you think Cali had a big influence on Vegas becoming the way it was as far as cripping and blood? Do you think that California really played a hand in that?
Me personally, I can't really say that. I mean, it probably. All I know is I came up a certain way. All I know is all these neighborhoods was where they was. Um, I didn't know nobody that was directly connected to how you would say the California Crips and Bloods that was really directly connected to it. That turned
Right.
around and say, this is how we do it in California. I ain't never heard none of that come out of none of the people's mouths that I fucked with. Now I heard that from people that was straight from out there to say that, and for them to say that Vegas ain't about that life, man. you got another thing coming, man, because a lot more of them been sent away in the box than they ever did anything to us. I mean, I'm not trying to say that in a bad, in a negative way, but people here, it's about that. It was about that life, and it was about that business, man. They had nothing to do with, this is my backyard. This is where we from, man. So anybody's going to defend their homeland. I don't care where they from. And you can say if you influenced it, that's cool too, because quiet as kept, it did influence the whole country. You know what I'm saying? When it came about, it really did. I mean, they had everybody doing it, man. But at the same time, everybody still got their own swag or whatever, got their own thing or what they do in their city. Because
Yeah.
if I go out there, I'm gonna be at war just as with anybody else. When it comes to me defending what I believe in and where I'm from. You
Right.
know, if you come from out, if you when somebody comes from somewhere else, like I said, it ain't where you from, it's where you at, man. And wherever you, and I done been to plenty cities across this country, man. And I done ran into Crips and Bloods in other cities when I was out of, when I lived out of state. They had their own little thing going, and did I agree with it? Did I agree? No, I didn't. But that was their own identity. So,
Right.
I didn't look down upon on them dudes because the way they blood and crypt out there was, it was different from the West Coast style. Because it's just like out here, even though we are Crips and Bloods, that's we're Crips and Bloods, but some things they do is different. Some things we say is different. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes us different from them. It don't, that don't necessarily mean we don't want to be no California Crip, no California Bloods, none of that. We're from where we from. You know what I'm saying? I was from over there from Madison Terrace, man. At the end of the day, um, I respect all them niggas from where they from, of course. I respect them. Against them, I don't have nothing against California. You know what I'm saying? And shit, nobody against them wherever anybody's from. That's
Right.
where they from. But for somebody to say, well, we influenced y'all and y'all trying to be like us.
Okay. It's a lot of people that are because I like to cover
Mhm.
some other people are under the impression that the Hispanics run Vegas. And would you elaborate on that from your perspective? Do the Hispanics run Vegas
Well,
out here? I'm asking you.
Well, I don't know about now because I ain't been here. I've been gone for some years. So when I came, but when we was coming up, nah, they ain't in. They did their thing or whatever, but they was doing that was amongst them. Cause I don't know, like you mentioned the podcast before. I don't know what they had going on because you never really heard about the ones. Really heard about them putting in work like the black gangs was. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they was who they was over there, wherever they was at, over on 28, the little locals down in Northtown or whatever they were, wherever they had their little neighborhoods at. But I never had no problems with them. I
Okay.
ain't never had no problem
Right.
about them blowing on each other like that. If anything, that they had going, but I don't think they didn't really have no big influence on us. When it came to the black gangs. You know,
What do you say to people? Because 28th Street is the oldest Hispanic gang in Vegas. Do
okay,
you remember the alliance that 28th Street had with the Bloods back in the day?
kind of because they all went to Vegas High School together.
They went to Vegas High. So you remember when 28th Street used to wear red?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Uh,
So when people bring that up, is that the truth or is that just a myth? That 28th Street, even though they up
We
under,
got it.
what they up under.
I ended up going to Vegas and at the end of that fight because they fell out with them real heavy. They ended up
Right.
having a bad fight up in Vegas High School, but and I was in Elko a lot too, so some of that's what you keep it all the way 100. I was in Elko when a lot of that was going on, so I can't really say what if they was if we was really together like that. Cause like I said, they had fell out and we had got into it with them. So when I went to Vegas, I was only there for a couple weeks. They tried to jump on me, and I got kicked out of every school in Nevada because of that. I couldn't go to regular public school because they tried to jump on me and just did some shit that turned around. They didn't stole the teacher's wallet and shit. Since I'm the only one that had a record that's been Elko, they blamed it on me. You know what I'm saying? I went back to Elko behind that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I said, I whooped on a couple of them, but they, I ain't never really I ain't really had no beef with them, but that's what was going on at that moment. So I can't really say if there was a real alliance like that. I just think I don't know, man. I can't really get into that one like that shit to be all the way
Okay.
100 with
All right. Well,
you.
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, man. Before we move on, man.
Hmm.
What would you say when as far as you coming up in Las Vegas, right? Because a lot of people hear me speak on stuff, and then but at the end of the day, that's just my point of view and my opinion. But
Right.
what do you think about what would you say was the most aggressive when it came to violence and being in the streets and stuff like that? When you was out, what do you think? What
When
period
I
did you
was
think Vegas was at its worst?
the 90s,
The
the
'90s.
90s, man. Yeah,
Why you
the
say that?
90s. Man,
Why would you
look,
say that?
okay. Now, like you said, you had like we had before, like when L got killed, um, that started that war. And then Bulo, when Bula got killed, that escalated everything. And then it just seemed like in the 90s, it just exploded. It just
Okay,
seemed
for
like in
the
the
people.
90s, it just exploded, man. I don't know. Real serious, man. Late 89, I would say late 80, between 88, 89, and 90s. But like I said, but the 90s, it just got bad. It got bad. And I
When
would say
when you
part of that, this is just me. Um, Part of that is basically when it got really bad, when the North and West, when the MTGs really got to tripping. I think when them niggas got to tripping, the Donald was already doing their thing or whatever, but when them MTGs, it just got worse. Especially when it became a West and North thing, it just seemed like it just got real bad.
okay, well
That
let
was
me
in
ask
the
you this.
90s.
When it comes to the Crips, right, in Las
Mhm.
Vegas, when it comes to the Crips, who would you say was the most aggressive when it came to the Crips? Who was the most what Crip gang was the most aggressive out here that you would say that caused the most damage, you would say?
Well, I mean, this is my opinion. I hear a lot of. I mean, I would go with two of them, just me. I say them 6 O's was tripping, and them dollars. That them was they was the one they was one was tripping to me. But I never had no beef with them 60s. I got into it with the Donners lightweight, but I got had a thing with them, but it wasn't no But I said them Donners was tripping, and then them NTGs got the tripping too, man. So at one time it was the Donners, and then when it was the 60s to the Donners to the MTGs. That's
Okay.
the order I would put it in. When it started, the 60s was tripping, and then the Donners when they got going, they was tripping hard, and then when the MTGs got going, they got to going hard. No disrespect to anybody else, but them the ones I seen that was really doing some shit.
Right.
You
So
know.
what would you say? What would you say? This is the last one on as far as that concerned. We gonna move on. What would you say was the most violent, destructive gang war in Las Vegas that caused a lot of casualties on whatever side? Which one? Because everybody got
Everybody got their own
uh,
opinion. There was a
yeah.
bunch of ugly wars going on, man. All the shit was ugly. At the end of the day, it was all ugly. But like I said, I think the one that was that, and it seemed like it was basically when y'all and them NTGs. Even though I think it was more of a West thing, but I think it was just they took it more personal with the Gersons. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna call you that no more, but it seemed like they took it more personal with them, with the Gersons. So that
So
was a
you
pretty.
believe
I think that one was pretty bad. You know what I'm
so
saying?
you believe the Gershons in the '60s? I mean, the Gershons in the NTG war was the worst one.
That I would say that, but then the 60s and the Gersons was bad too.
So you
Both of
say the
them was
Gershons
bad.
in the NTGs and the Gershons in the '60s?
Yeah, both of them was
That's
bad.
hard to disagree with. You know what I mean? I want to
From
tell
I- I'm
somebody. I
just
want to
I'm
tell
just
you a
talking from
story.
the outside looking in because you know what was really going on in that more than I did than what I do. Like I said, I'm just from the outside looking in. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That
Okay.
was they was over there really doing. There was a lot of stuff damage going on over there that way. You know what I'm saying? We had
Right.
got into it with all of them too, but it was a lot of damage going on between them two. Between them two wars right there was a lot of damage going on. There's a lot of people becoming
Okay.
unalive in those, if that makes sense, you know. uh I can't say
You
she
keep it real. You can keep it real, man. It
I
don't
can't I'm
hurt.
just saying, you know, me, I took stuff. A lot of my shit that I was doing, going getting into it when I was out there doing me. A lot of my shit was more personal. Um, I hung with the homies, but I still was kind of a loner too, though. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. But
Yeah.
I would say with the Gersons, kind of with the Gerson and yeah, kind of with the Gersons, I would say.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
And it
I
wasn't
want.
no
I want.
bad war, but
No, go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
I said I don't think it was, because of in the middle of that, a few people became unalive in that one. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right.
Few people came unalive on that one. It was that was kind of personal, if you ask me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That war between the Gerson and the Parus was kind of personal.
Yeah.
There
I
was a
would
lot
say
of
this,
personal shit
man.
going on. Uh huh.
From my knowledge, I would say this: the worst wars in Vegas involving the Gerson. I would say I was locked up for that. I didn't have nothing to do with that. But the one I had with the '60s, I say number one. I say
Yeah.
number two. The worst one was with the number two was NTGs, and I would say number three will be Donna. And the people will be surprised that I didn't put West Coast up in there. He got killed December 6th, 1987.
Uh
And
huh.
what at that time, banging in Vegas was kind of docile. It wasn't really, it wasn't really turned up because you had a lot of gangs at that time that were dying off, such as the GQs, the OGs, the UCCs, and all them. They were dying off, but
Right.
they were still already here and they were seizing gangs. But what happened? The L pushed gang banging in a different direction because
Yeah.
it was
Of
no
course it
longer
did.
about this, and it was
Right.
about something else. And I think
I done been
what
over there in the coast when them Gersons came through there and blew on them. I done got blew. I done been over there in some of that shit. You
oh
know,
yeah,
I've been
see
over
that's
there.
when the game changed for the worse because what that did is the war between the Gersons and West Coast woke up banging in Vegas to another level.
To
But
that next level. Right.
The rise of the Donna Streets that happened after that woke up Crippin to another level because the main four blood gangs is still the same here. No real
Right.
blood gangs that were all still the same. It's always
Right.
been Paru, Playboy, West Coast, Hood. You had
Right.
smaller gangs like. So what I'm saying is that when the Donna Streets came, the Gerson and West Coast war woke up banging in Vegas. The
Yeah.
rise of the Donna
I agree with
Street
that.
woke up cripping in Vegas because everybody had to adjust to what Donna was doing because after Donna came ABM, 40 Block, Bonanza Village, Sydney Sue Gangster Crips, Hard Time Hustler,
Yeah.
Ellis Street Mafia, White Street Start Banging, Diana Street Villains. See, all this stuff came after Donna arose,
Right. 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 I
But
would agree. I would agree with that
let's close
because
the
it
book
wasn't
on
none of
that.
that. Remember when we was in Elko? It was none of that really. It was more niggas claiming California Crip gangs than it really actual Vegas Crip gangs.
Okay, well, hold on. Now that you said that,
You think
okay,
about it, Chief. It was
yeah, let's talk about that. Now, to people that's not familiar with Elco, explain to them what Elco is.
NYTC, Nevada Youth Training Center. That's basically the CYA of Nevada. As a
Okay, and
that's
how
what that
long?
was, man. Huh? All this little badass kids, she All us badass kids, nigga. You know who was up there, nigga. Some of us was multiple returners and shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I ain't proud
Oh
of it, but
man,
hell, I've been there 3 motherfucking times, man. You know, I remember they started sending y'all extra bad motherfuckers to Tennessee.
Shelby Training Center. I've been there. Hey, look,
That shit.
I
Okay.
don't mind. Hey, look. I don't mind. I'm an open book. I'm an
Right.
open book, and I don't mind telling people my faults because if we talking about saving the youth and expose one thing, we not finna do. We not gonna glorify this because me and you both know what we
Ain't that?
suffer. I want to
Yeah.
tell them a story real fast about me and you and our connection. For the people
Right.
that don't know, hey, look, we was in Indian Springs, me and this guy right here a long time ago, and I like he said, the worst war that he ever, witnessed as far as, the blood's concerned was the Gersons and the Parus. Okay. Now, I was taught just like he was taught to hate Parus, like he was taught to hate Gersons, right? But me and this cat right here, we've been in Elko since I was 12 years old. We grew up together.
Yeah.
And we ended up in the, you remember me and you was in the room together, and you
Yeah.
remember
We
when we
settled.
was playing casino?
Yeah.
And what people don't understand, me and this guy was playing casino. And when we started playing casino, mind you, I was still going through rehabilitation from being blasted in my eye. I got blasted in March of 94. I was pronounced DOA, and it was a serious situation. But what happened was when we was playing cards, my cornea in my right eye popped.
Scared the shit out of me, Steve. I scared the shit out of me. I ain't know what to do with it. But I'm gonna chime in real quick. But like I say, at you're a human, and it didn't matter. First of all, like I said, we already had history, but it didn't matter. I just, I knew that, I did the best I could, bang on that door. I hollered, I screamed. Like I said, I was tripping, man. Y'all come get this man. This man is hurt. This man is going through something, man. Y'all need to come get him. And like you mentioned before, yeah, I was ready. I was willing to go to the hole and ride behind that shit. You know what I'm saying? That you're a human. You're a human being, man. You know, we were on different sides of the fence. I still never seen you like that. But even like I said in prison, I had more respect for the Gersons than anybody else anyway. To be honest with you, when we was doing time, I
Right.
fucked with the Gersons. I always have. That was just me. I don't care what kind of beef we end up having, but it seemed like I always gravitated towards them when we was incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? I know when it came to that, I ain't never really get into it with no.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A couple of them I got into it with, but it was never really. I never really had no personal thing with that. But say, sheet man, you're a human. You're a human, and that's what I seen, and that's why, and I seen it as that. I didn't see you as no girl. Oh, fuck this.
Right. Yeah, and what people don't know, yeah, so to give people a better understanding, I was completely blind. I couldn't see nothing. See, and what I'm trying to get them to see is that, at the end of the day, you can start off as something, but when God's hand is in at play, He show you things, if only you willing to learn. And me and you, who've been brought up to hate one another, even though we was able to look past that in Elko, but still, we were brought up a
Yeah,
certain way. And at the end of the day, my so-called enemy was there at my weakest moment. I want people to understand that sometimes, man, people that you're taught to hate, they're not your enemy, and some people that you are taught to love and show loyalty to, it's not your homeboy. And when I bring y'all these platforms, it's not to glorify gang violence, because what I want to home in on right now is the consequences. Now that we done talked about basically everything that we need to about Vegas, I want to ask you some serious stuff, bro.
Yeah.
You feel good about everything. You like you said you wouldn't change nothing, but how you feel knowing that it's dudes that you grew up with, that's no
Uh-huh.
longer here no more. They got sons out here infected by the same self-destructive perception.
Uh, it's fucked up though. It really is. It's fucked up. I got a son, man. I thank God that he is not with well, he ain't with none of that. But like you say, but there are some sons that end up growing up being with it. And it's fucked up, man. To a certain degree, it's fucked up. It is what it is. But at the same time, it's fucked up, man. I'm not happy that to see when I see it. Sometimes it's like sometimes it bothers me. It's like, but damn, man, what could have done differently for them not to follow through to some of the things that I done out there. Cause I ain't proud of a lot of bullshit that I did, man, and I ain't happy about it. I ain't proud. Wouldn't want nobody else to do it either. And I would not want to see nobody else's kid. I don't want to see nobody do that shit. I don't want to see nobody out there. Some of the shit that I see now since I've been back here is fucked up. You know,
Okay.
um,
Well,
a few of these
scenario.
murders that happened, and I've been knowing, a few of these murders that have recently it's fucked up because I know they mamas. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad to see them lose their life like that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But a lot of that comes from the way we lived, from some of the decisions that we gave them, that we gave them. You know what I'm saying? We thought that shit was cool, man. There wasn't nothing cool about that bullshit, man. At the end of the day, it wasn't nothing cool about that, man.
Okay.
You
So
know?
I got a scenario for you, right?
Yes. Okay.
I'm a young Paru, and I just got into it with some Crips at the store, right?
Okay.
Now I'm on my way to get my thing because they disrespected me. Well, on my way to get my thing, I happen to run into you. I recognize you. I salute you.
Right.
Now you ask me why I'm looking all, crazy looking because they didn't piss me off. So I'm going to get my thing, and I got intentions to come back and do some damage. What could you tell me to persuade me with the influence that you still have as an OG? What could you tell?
First of all, I'm gonna grab it. I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna grab him. I'm gonna put him up under my wing, and I'm gonna pull him off to the side, and I'm really gonna talk to him. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna let him know. I'm gonna run it down. The scenario what you about to get into. I mean, I can't stop you, but at the end of the day, oh no, I got to go do this, man. But the way this generation is, they probably look at me and be like, kind of like I was. They hard headed. They ain't gonna want to listen. But at the same time, I'm gonna, I'm there's things that come with this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? There's deep ass consequences, man. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do 20 years flat, but I did over 15 years in them institutions. You know what I'm saying? In and out, in and out. I've been shot, stabbed, all kind of shit fucking with that shit, man. I walk with a limp now. With a limp now behind that bullshit. It's not worth it. At the end of the day, it ain't worth it, man. Ain't nothing gangster about that shit. That ain't being gangster, man. Being gangster is getting up, going to work, taking care of your family, being a man, being responsible. That's what is worth it. Do you want to for the rest of your life and be, sitting next to a nigga all day and years, sitting up next to niggas all day, nah, that's what you want, man. You can do that shit out here on the street, man. You can be out here and enjoy your life, man, have children, man. Just be a man, man, and be responsible for some shit instead of being out in that, because that's very irresponsible when we make those bad decisions like that, man. I'm just gonna
Okay.
pull him to the side and do my best to talk
Well,
to him,
let,
you know,
let me ask you
just
this.
trying to calm him down, and make him, and make him look at, uh, like I said, let him try to, try to talk about the consequences behind it.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. As a whole, and when you look at the
Mm-hmm.
black community,
Uh-huh.
it runs through what is considered blood turf. Jackson Street
Right.
is really the black strip. You know, the Town Tavern, which was built in 1957, along with the Moulin Rouge. I think they were 1957, 1956. One was built in, I think, March, and the other one in April, something like that. But the Moulin Rouge was built first, and then the Town Tavern was built. But Jackson Street was the main vein of the black strip when black performers
Mm-hmm.
and places like that before Frank Sinatra got him on the strip. But my thing is this right here: what could we as a community do to combat what has turned into something that even me and you can't recognize anymore? Because how we grew up, even though it was wrong, it's nothing
Right.
compared to what's going on now. Because when we were
Yeah.
growing up, even though we were hard-headed little, we still had certain things to do, and it seems when it comes to women, the blatant disrespect that we show them. And what I want to know is what could we do as a whole? Because me and you and I, we know where we come from and the influence that we still have. What can we do to use that influence to steer us as a community back to a normal reality that our grandmamas introduced us to, so we know what to really.
Right. Right. I believe. I believe us as a people, man. Uh, us as men. First of all, we need to stand up, and I'm talking for myself about me, she. Because I mean, it's very hurtful to go down to Jackson days, but it still was live, vibrant streets, a lot going on. It's super depressing. It's super depressing not to to see that we have and the whole city and as a whole to see how us as black people not done more than what we should be able to do, what we can do. We need to step up as men and get together and really get together, all sides, you know what I'm saying? And really start trying to put our resources together, put our brains together, get our resources together, and try to rebuild and rebuild our community, man. You know what I'm saying? We need more of us that was out there in it because you still got big names out there that have influence because you hear it. I hear it in some of these people, some of these young voices, and you have people that's from our era that's out there that's doing certain stuff, but I still feel that it could be more if all of us, especially us older, if we all come together and start trying to figure out what we can do as a whole to help our communities, man. We need to start trying to focus our resources on that because I believe, and that's the problem. Start asking and now don't ask nobody. Just start doing it on our own, man. We can help these youth out here, man. Go out here. You know what I'm saying? In the
Wow.
corners that we ran up, in the corners that we caused all that havoc on. The corners that I got shot on, that all them kind of, shot people on and did them drive-bys, whole and in numbers. Because just for instance, me and you go out there on our own and we go speak up on it, there's gonna be a lot of backlash. And I know we a man, and then that would, and I'm not trying to trip with nobody or do none of that. But when you go out there and you on your own and you trying to push a narrative, you're gonna get a lot of pushback, you know. Uh huh.
The devil, he stay busy.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and one thing that we have to understand that what we're doing, we're obligated because we laid the bricks for them youngsters to walk on that led them down the wrong path.
Right.
Now, what I think, because I didn't call a lot of pushback from what I'm doing. Some people say he up here, he doing this, he doing that. I don't. One thing about me, which which was God. You know, my homeboys couldn't open that door. Lucifer
Right,
couldn't open that door when I was in the hole
right.
ashy with a Bible and a pen that bend and a kite. Couldn't nobody let me out of there. And I had 5 years to do up in there. But when I got on my knees and I told God to take the wheel, and I really had a chance to see that the monster or the enemy that I thought I was chasing and fighting, the
Mm-hmm.
rolling sheep that I thought I was hating, that I thought I hate, I seen them when I looked in the mirror. The Donna
Yeah,
Street
right,
Crips that I thought I hate, I seen it. Look, what I'm trying to say is that I realized at that moment that I was my worst enemy because I kept putting myself in the positions that led to incarceration, that led to me being stabbed on multiple occasions, that led to me losing all my childhood comrades, that led to me
right,
hurting my mama and other people's mamas in ways that you
right,
can't believe. So
right.
I think,
See, I want to say this real quick. What you just said when you went, and I think a lot of us we come to that realization. But what's name said it himself, man. Uh, Nipsey said it himself. He said, what's basically what you said when we was out there, when we was up there, when we finna go put in work, and you about to go do what you gonna do. You know, you loading your burners up, and we doing all that. You looking for somebody that we was out there looking for somebody that looked just like us. You
right,
looking at somebody that's dressed like you, that's dressed exactly like we was dressed. They just had a different color on, but he was looking just like me. So basically, we was out there hating our damn self, man. And we need to, like I said, we need to get out there and love ourselves, love one, love and teach love, man. But love one another, man. Teach people to love themselves first, you know,
right,
because that's basically all it is. Like you know, it's hatred of yourself, man. I got to go out here and hurt somebody else. No, it's the hate because you don't like your damn self, man. Evidently, you don't. You know,
right,
we couldn't have liked ourselves and loved ourselves to be doing what we was doing. Oh fuck it, I'll go
right,
back to Elko. I'll go back to the penitentiary. Every time I got out the penitentiary, sheep, I was out 2 months and I went right the fuck back. You know what I'm saying? Every time I got out of Elko,
right,
I be out the longest Elko I stayed out. Maybe was like shit. I think maybe a year, but I was getting incarcerated in the process. But I didn't go back there for almost a year. But excuse me. But yeah, you know, at the end of the day, we need to learn how to love ourselves. We need to go out there and show them that you can love yourself. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, like, go ahead. I don't, you know, we just need to, you know, I don't know how many other people believe they don't have to, but you know, I need to put God first, man.
okay,
And that's what changed me. You know what I'm saying? I was still running around fucking off till I was 37 years old. I didn't grow up till I was 37. I was in a whole nother state of Ohio acting ass. I went to prison twice out there. You know what I'm saying? Because that's one thing I've learned too. People always want to run. I need to go out of town. I need to go do this. Man, I don't give a fuck where you go. You take yourself with you. So go right ahead and go where you think you're going to go. And you're going to be out there and you're going to be yourself until you realize and understand and grow up and become an individual, grow a man and submit. Like you said, once you submit to something that's greater than yourself, then you realize that, hey, this ain't what's up. You know what I'm saying? Once you realize that, you know, life turns around, man. Life turns around. It gets better.
all
That's
right,
just for me. You know
all
what I'm saying? And you
right,
have to, man. You have to, she. You
right,
know, like I said, ain't you know, at the end of the day, we have to
okay,
realize that, you know, it's us. You gotta it's
right.
all about what's in you. And it's all like it's yeah, and
Mm.
we went out to kill other people, but at the end of the day, who was you killing, man? You killing yourself, man. Yes,
This
sir.
was really a test run, man, because I had called OG Carl Wesley on here, man, but it wasn't working. I'm gonna bring him back and have him, spit the Q history. Um, it was beautiful having you on here, bro, man.
I appreciate having me on, and I
Hold on,
appreciate this platform.
before we wrap this up, let me say this. Let me say this. Let me say this. Who
Uh
you voting for?
huh. Well,
Who
I'm
you
gonna
voting
say
for?
this. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna vote for the person who's giving us the best, who has policies for the black people. You know, I'm tired of everybody.
What's the contrast? Because I think that 20 Agenda 2025, is some serious. That we, I'm not as a people, but we as a nation need to take serious, man. And I think that I'm not saying that Kamala, is there's a lot of things about her.
Right. I'm gonna say this because I'm gonna say this about because I try not to get into politics too much because that's something you can everybody's gonna have their opinion on it. But one thing I
Right.
will say when we talk about when you just mentioned that about Project 2020 whatever that is, a lot of that's already going on. Them people been pushing that agenda, man. You know what I'm saying? That
Right.
agenda kind of already been going on, but we have been duped in as black people for the last 60 years, man. We have been duped, taken advantage of, and all of that. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Our vote has been taken advantage of for the last 60 years. Because quiet as kept, what have we gotten out of this shit? What have we really gained in the last 60 years, man? You know what I'm saying? We need a lot of people need to go back and listen to Malcolm X and really listen to a lot of things that he says and what he speaks about. If we go back and listen to him and study what he said, you know, and start opening our eyes up to what's really going on, at the end of the day, the enemy gonna come. They don't give a fuck about us, she. At
Well,
the
you
end of
know
the day,
what? That's true. Let me tell you something. And we gonna end it with this. I'll say this. This is my look on it, bro.
mm-hmm.
At one point in time in the United States, there was something called a Dred Scott decision,
Uh
and it
huh,
was in 1857, and
uh
that's
huh.
when Chief Justice Roger Taney did
Okay.
oppression. It was at an all-time high. But
Mm-hmm.
I think what was even more brutal to us was the Great Compromise. And that's when I forget his name, it was a president that agreed to remove federal troops from the South in order for votes, and that's allowed poor white people who eventually became, who were Ku Klux Klan members. That's when the Supreme Court deems segregation, separate but equal. You see, now my thing, and that brings us up to the black codes and Jim Crow. My thing is we have to be careful in what we tread because even though you say 2025 is something that they've been planning, brother, regardless of how bad we think we got it over here, what our ancestors went through is something we cannot fathom. So
Right.
black codes
Exactly.
and for 1 minute that they won't go back in time and tell us that we listen, the Voting Rights Act, the Civil Rights Act, and the 13th Amendment, which is slavery abolished, but at the bottom of it, it says, unless it's used as a punishment to a person convicted of a crime. See, the
Right.
13th, the 14th, and the 15th Amendment, our ancestors fought for those because black men had the right to vote before women.
Right.
But now you seeing them strip the women of their right to be. We still have what I think is that we need to take things most serious, and that's our problem. We so complacent and we so focused on one another and hating on one another that we don't look at the bigger picture. You see, and until we
And
can
I just feel
produce
the bigger
something,
picture,
until
she,
we
that we need to come together as right. Right. We need to come together as a block, man, and stop letting all these and I just think we need to come together as a block and stop letting these letting everybody tell us what we need to do and what we need for us. Because one side says one thing, one side say the other thing. And we need to like I said, we because the first thing that people are always saying that, well, you voted for the two of the less evils, man. If you beat both of them both of them is evil, man, but you need to really start digging in and see what these people are really talking about and what policies that they're talking about because we're ever been, to a certain degree. And we can't keep running out there supporting anybody. It's just my opinion, supporting anybody that ain't gonna help us as a people, man. And if don't and I'm not saying withhold your vote, but if that's the case, man, why are we voting for anybody if ain't now one of these motherfuckers gonna do anything to help us at all? Because both of one person says I ain't gonna never do nothing for blacks, and they have it. You know what I'm saying? They really have it. The things that was done, we like I say, we as a people need to come together, man, and but it's not gonna happen right now, man, because we're still being subjected to uh how can I say it? We're still being we black people are emotional we vote very emotional. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of us vote very emotional nowadays instead of really trying to get and to the crux of the situation. But what we don't have nobody that's out there influencing us. We got rappers and singers and all these kind of motherfuckers telling us that this is what we should do, and half of them don't even follow that shit. You know what I'm saying? Malcolm
Mm-hmm.
X spoke up against that. He's like, man, celebrities, they ain't that, these celebrities, they don't, because at the end of the day, they don't give a fuck. They got their money. They getting paid to go out there and tell us to say certain shit and to deal with certain shit. They getting paid for that shit. You know what I'm saying? They get paid to do that. And they turn around and
Okay.
don't even believe in that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's just
we gonna have to we gonna cut it short, but
all right.
that's the point. We hold it right there because we gonna do this again, man. And it's great to have that point of view. That you have. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But that's what we
Yes.
need to bring to the forefront because what we can all agree upon. What's missing in the black community is ideas. And regardless if they're popular or not, the lack thereof is our hindrance. So what we have to do is come up with more ideas. What I think, I'm gonna close it with this. What I think we as a people need to do. We come from a people that didn't have nothing. Chattel slavery was one of the most destructive instruments that America ever yielded, and it destroyed us just like they called it the Trail of Tears, and the situation under Andrew Jackson. What happened to the
Mm-hmm.
natives? You know that You see, and that's that's what we lacking. When we realized that all we had was one another, our spirituality, because we sung. That's why our churches rock. We communicated through music in the cotton fields. That's how we planned to
Right.
escape. When we were connected to spirituality and to one another, we didn't have nothing. We didn't even have a language, but
Right.
we had
Right.
one another.
Okay.
That right there is what delivered us. And that right there, the disconnection is what's hindering us. Because together as a people, without no weapon, together as a people, there's nothing on this earth more powerful than our unification. For real. And
And
when we
that's
unify ourselves, we
right.
have to do it with love and respect. And what we have to
Right.
do first is get right with the black woman because she's mad at us. That's why the earth turned on us. But that's another story. We go.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was and she we could get it and that uh
Let me hit him with my slogan one time. You
uh
know who it is, the horror flick, Digger Ditch Super 6 Big Mitch. And I'm kicking in those roll three O's. And I'm bringing 28 one-on-ones because we Vegas sons. It's the Chronicles. And you in the
yes it
Meadowlands.
is. Yes
Yeah,
it
you in
is,
the
lady.
metal, man.
Hey,
Hey,
Chief.
look, Slick, they already know what made me. 530, I'm a desert baby. Boom!
Chief, I was
22
gonna
inch
say that, and
gold, dang, dang.
if they don't know what a 530 baby is, you ain't from here, bro.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? Big Mitch from Super 6, man, shout out to everybody that's been rocking with your boy. Shout out to everybody that's been rocking with me and hating on me. Without you all, especially the haters, there would be no me. But we gonna keep it raw and uncut up over here without no additives and no preservatives, like summer sausages and crackers. Until then, my
Man, hey,
friend,
I love you, my
adios.
nigga. You know, I
I
got
love
mad
you,
love and
Slippery.
respect for you.
Hey,
I appreciate you having me on here, man.
man, we gonna do this
I really
again,
do.
Brody.
And I'm gonna touch bases with some people, and we gonna get some more people up on here. We gonna move this thing. I want this thing to move, man. I
That's
want this to
cool,
move and let people really see what's going on and let them really see what's going on. Like I said, you got
right?
haters out there, man.
Man,
And they
hey,
don't,
listen,
and some of the niggas hate because they really wasn't out there doing it any
man,
motherfucking
listen here. Let me explain
way.
something to you, Slick. We gonna end it with
I
this.
don't give a fuck what
Hey,
nobody
listen,
say.
look,
Y'all can say what y'all want to say about me or whatever, but I know the deal. So it really don't make no difference, man. Half of them wasn't doing
hey,
nothing, no motherfucking way. So
hey, check this.
they know they what. Uh huh. You right. You
Let them hate.
100% right, my brother.
Let them hate. Let them do that. That's what hate is gasoline for the motivation engine. So let them hate, man, because it's bigger than them. What we focused on is the youth. The youth is our
Yeah.
future. Without them, we don't have no future. So we
Right.
can't listen to the peanut gallery. We got to listen to our heart. And since you
Right.
matured,
They sure has, she. Yeah. Man, I know you ready to go. It's time to go, but listen, man. But I've realized how mature that I have gotten, that I've become. And I know that's one reason why I came back here because there's certain things here goes on here that I didn't have to deal with in Ohio. You know what I'm saying?
right?
Where I was at. Certain stuff I didn't have to deal with. So it's some things here that's why I know that's the reason why God brought me back here to deal with certain situations. And I'm dealing with them. And I think I'm dealing with them a lot better than a lot of people expected me to deal with them. Because I know I got haters out here too. Oh, he gonna go back to doing what he was doing the whole time. Man, look, man, I've outgrown that. Now I've outgrown that. God took it from me. So when God took that poison, that ailment, those things that was holding me back, when God took that from me, I didn't go back looking for it. He still got it, and I'm not going back to get it. It's easy for me to go back and take it back, but is it worth it?
There you go, right
I'm a
there.
walking testimony, man. I was out there doing bad. I mean, people that know me, they know what I was out there in the streets doing. I don't have to speak up on it and mention it. Yeah, I was out there. Well, I was mentioning it. I was out there dope, alcohol, sure, whatever the fuck it was. I was out there on it. You know what I'm saying? But I also realized in the process of that, it made me who I am. And once God took all that away from me, I'm a way better person now. You know what I'm saying? And you can
Amen.
become and anybody can become a better person. It ain't never too late. That's one thing I want to say. It never is too late to change your life and turn your life around for the better. You know, I'm not, right now I'm not, it's some things I'm going through, but I'm still not where I was or where I used to be, and I definitely will never go back there. It's not worth it, man. At the end of the day, some of the things just ain't worth it, man. You know,
All
I
right.
ain't perfect. Now, don't get me wrong, I ain't perfect. I still have my little ways when it comes to certain stuff, but as far as me just giving up on life and running to them streets where I'm gonna be out there looking stupid, looking on the corner and shit, looking stinking, dusting, and fucked off. No, I bet you'll never see that again out of me. You know what I'm saying? Because God got a better plan for you, me, and everybody else out there, man.
All right. All right. Go ahead.
That's all. I mean, that's all. That's all. It's just a better
Uh,
way to go. You
and
know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna leave it on that note, man. Shout out to everybody that's supporting the platform. I gotta go on a breakout. Don't want to bore everybody. We talked a minute. I'm gonna bring them back, and I'm gonna start going live. You know what I'm saying? Platform, man. This was a first time I've been back live streaming, man. Hopefully, we got a whole bunch more to go, man. Good looking, bro. I love you, man.
I
You
love you
stay
too,
safe.
man.
You
I
stay
love
out
you
the
too,
way,
Chief.
man. And you stay
Yep.
blessed, Brody. Okay.
Yes, you too, bro. Much love.
Shout out, bro. Much love. All right. All right, y'all. There we go.